Metal Nation, it is I, Tim. This is Podcast Them Down. That's Mike. You know, I spent all my money at this Metallica concert that's all around me, so I couldn't afford to go to any of the other concerts. So Mike is going to tell me what I missed when I didn't see Emperor. Now, I have seen Emperor twice, I think, and I am pissed that they're still touring. Let's get this out of the way. The first time I went to Wacken in 2006 was when Emperor announced that they're back together. Holy shit. And like, me and Dave were like, we can't miss this opportunity to see Emperor because they're only going to do these festivals and then that's it. So we like, and we were, destitute more or less at the time. But we went over to Europe and, spent all of our money and saw Emperor, and luckily they released that concert on a DVD, so I have it forever. And then, like 2 years later, they came to the US. Well, I was pissed about that. And I was like, well, they're just milking it, right? So I paid a whole lot of money to go up to New York City and go do the meet and greet with them. And I got to shake their hands, and I got an autographed poster that is one of my posters framed, because I'm an old loser, and you gotta frame you're old when you frame all your posters. So that was one of the ones I framed, and I also have the autographed tab book that they had at the time. So it's funny because Samoth, whatever, Isan, and Trim signed their names in silver Sharpie, while the other two guys signed in black Sharpie. And I was like, well, that's it. Never going to see Emperor again. Then they we're going to play In the Nightside Eclipse and play all over the place. It's like, God damn it. So it's like when Kiss did the farewell tour in the 80s and then kept doing farewell tours, and then Black Sabbath, no more tours. They're still doing no more tours.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to rip Ozzy out of the grave and make a puppet out of him and go on tour again.
I mean, who wouldn't? It's very on brand.
So, but it sounds like, even though I saw two fantastic Emperor shows, it's a shame I missed this one because they were playing Into the Nightside Eclipse. And this is about all I know. I have exhausted my knowledge of the show, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. So, full disclosure, I love Emperor. They were one of the first metal bands I listened to. I listened to Prometheus first, which I realize is not.
Oh, that's weird.
It's not their most representative album. But I really enjoyed it. It's a weird album. So they've always had a special place for me. So that weekend was ridiculous for me because I actually saw 3 concerts that weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I saw something.
Those are other episodes.
Oh yeah. But
which day was this?
This was Sunday.
Oh, so we're doing them backwards.
Yeah. So decided to go see Emperor. I arrived in time to see Wolves in the Throne Room.
All right. Yeah. So real quick, this was at the Fillmore Silver Spring,
yes,
which I have well documented my love/hate for that venue. I want to give a shout out to the Vietnamese place that's catty corner to it, because that's where I've been going to eat before shows. It's a good pre-show cuisine to be having.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So was it just Wolves in the Throne Room and Emperor?
It was just Wolves in the Throne Room. What I found out after the fact, though, is that apparently they had different openers elsewhere in the tour, and one of them was Agalloch.
What?
And I'm really upset that I was not wherever that was. I'm guessing in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, looks like the shows around there they had, which is a band I never got into, by the way.
They're good. They're not a bad band.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I never got into them. If
I recall correctly, I had a bunch of buddies. So I was into early death metal message boards and shit. And I think a lot of my buddies were down on Wolves in the Throne Room because they are, and I could be completely wrong, but I believe they're not like Cavolt. They're more like hippies that black metal. So that's
the horseshoe theory.
But I mean, they're solid.
I don't know if this is better or worse, but it looks like Agalloch played Ashes Against the Grain and
I
nothing
like
else.
that album.
Well, that's all they played.
I really like that album. So I'm good
Okay,
with
and
that.
then in Denver, Wayfarer opened for them, and Wayfarer is one of those bands that Decibel's lining up to do all sorts of whatever they want to them because Decibel's just a circle jerk in a good way or a bad way. It's just they find bands that they just want to cream all over and just cream all over them nonstop.
Nice.
Which is why I canceled my Decibel subscription. It's looking through the albums of the year, and I'm just like, I don't agree with any of this. Why do I read this? So I've switched to Louder Sound, which or what is it? Whatever they own, Metal Hammer, I think. Whatever Louder Sound owns, they have better, more objective metal articles, and they're more interesting. So now that I've torpedoed any chance of our bands getting covered in Decibel.
No, I read, I don't even remember where I read this. I'm just going to go further off topic. It was like top metal vocalists of all time. And, it's going through a few. And it arrives at, what the hell is his name? The singer of Him.
What? No, I don't know his name, but.
Billy, one sec. I'll get his name.
I think it was Billy Manilli is who you're trying to think of.
Billy Vallow. And, okay, I don't dislike him. They're obviously not really metal, but and I like the singer. But greatest of all time, it's like you clearly let something get in the way of your objectivity. It's like he's good, but sometimes you got to be like, all right, I love this. Is it really the best ever? I don't know. Anyway, got there in time. Back to the show. Got there in time to see Wolves in the Throne Room. They were pretty good. I don't really know their stuff. I'm not super into them, but
it's like if you really like them, they played 3 songs of Ancestral Knowledge and then 1 song off 3 more albums.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I thought they put on a good show. When I got there, I went up the stairs, which I'd never been, so I was on like the railing, which was cool, but the sound wasn't great.
I think the line arrays are just pointing at you. So if I had to guess, it was probably trebly or more trebly than.
Yeah, there was a lot I was missing. So I was talking with Mark from Eisenmore, who was also there. So I found him.
Oh, was he on the floor and you were eye to eye with him now?
Yeah, that's about right. We were messaging and I went down to the floor and found him. Wolves puts on their show. They put on a good show, and then Emperor takes a little bit to come out. But when they start, the pit, it's like Gwar level pit, man. It just starts, and it does not cease.
Oh my God.
It never stopped.
I would have gone back upstairs.
I felt there was this poor SOB during Wolves in the Throne Room who was trying so hard to start a pit, and people were like,
come on, guys. Man, there was a guy who used to be at every single show that would like get really into it and then get mad that no one else was as into it as he was. And he'd be like turning around, getting into people's faces and going like, and trying to get and everyone's like, cool out, man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that guy.
Yeah. I mean, he eventually,
that guy disappeared. I don't know where he went.
He got too excited one time and tried to start a mosh pit with the wrong guy.
No, I kept seeing him at like every show for years nonstop.
I have a great story involving the Emperor pit. Musically, they played in the Nightside Eclipse all the way through.
Right.
They fucking killed it.
Looks like what they opened with.
Yeah. So that's just. It was just the nonstop craziness.
Being upstairs might have made it sound more authentic.
Yeah, that's true. Should have done that. I don't have like a ton of articulate details surrounding the performance. I was trying to look at the stage gear. Other than the guitars, I didn't see shit. I have no idea what amps. I'm guessing it was all digital.
Did it sound 90s black metal, or did it sound like modern? Like, could you make everything out?
Yeah, I could make.
Okay, well then it was modern.
But it's like the instant they started, this pit just it was like an ever growing vortex. It just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. They played great. Other than Isan, I basically don't know who the hell anybody is. Everybody did a great job. The keyboardist I found to be amusing. He was very into it, but it's like a lot of times it's like he's just playing a note. But he did a lot of the backing vocals too, which I found interesting. So they just fucking killed it. The pit, it was probably the biggest pit I have seen outside of a Guar show. Yeah. I have to talk about it. So, it starts off and it's in the center and it's big, but then I got like Mark put it as I was conscripted into the pit wall.
Oh no. I used to stand there because it was like the most elbow space and breathing room. Every so often you'd have to deflect someone off you.
Well, the other thing is that you get a good view.
Yeah.
But it was sort of stressful because like people, I mean, this is just regular pit shit, people would be flying around and then it would get really aggressive, and I'm a weak, spindly man. I get knocked over. Mark's rescuing me at one point, and like the Fillmore is a biggish venue, but I feel like I'm usually in the back right corner, like in that area.
Right.
And I got kicked in the head at one point because somebody started crowd surfing from behind me.
Fucking hate crowd surfers. I am on record as repeatedly. Crowd surfers never do it right. You're supposed to go Jesus.
Oh yeah.
You have to plank. You have to have the core strength. No one does that. They stick their butt down. They land on people so they get thrown. Then they kick people in the head. Fucking hate crowd surfers. If you're a crowd surfer, fuck you. I hope you fall.
Oh.
And I will not support you. That's also why there's another reason I'm being a curmudgeon up on the balcony.
Yeah, if it sounded better on the balcony, I probably wouldn't have left. But I don't know. It was kind of fun to be in the midst of all the energy. Like I'm not normally that guy, but it was like, you know what? It's been a while. The pit was crazy. After In the Nightside Eclipse, they came back out and did an encore, which was more anthems of the Welcome at Dusk. There was at least one thing from Prometheus, I believe.
Yeah. According to this, they played In the Wordless Chamber from Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yep, 4 anthem songs, but didn't they do the anthems in full on the last tour or something like that?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was great. And then they sort of just continuously crushed it. My favorite part of the night, however, had nothing to do with Emperor. Okay.
But they played Curse You All Men.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and they fucking killed it. But it wasn't as exciting as the pit drama.
Oh, pit drama.
Pit drama. So there was this massive hunk of man. He's just giant man.
When you say that, I think of the Jimmy Dean sausage complaint. Have you ever heard this call? No. A guy calls up Jimmy Dean sausage to complain that they have reduced the size of their chub from 16 ounces to 12 ounces. How am I supposed to feed 600 pounds of man with a 12-ounce chub? And he goes on to say like you use it. And as for your maple and sage, I'm a Texas man. Maple and sage is for people from the north. I'm not from the north. It's like, yeah, just Google Jimmy Dean sausage complaint and you're welcome.
I'm definitely interested in this.
He barely keeps his rage contained until he thinks he's hung up. But he doesn't hang up, and that's the best part. All right. Anyway.
All right.
So 600 pounds of man.
Yeah. I mean, this is a beefy individual, and people are, you know how it goes. They go around the pit and people shove them back in.
Right.
And there was one particular
I'm actually
guy.
looking right now at a video from DC Heavy Metal of the show. And yeah, like it's nonstop crowd surfers, and clearly it's like a high energy crowd that I'd be on the edge of.
Yeah. So there's one guy who I don't know. Let's call him Beef. Beef takes a lot of offense, and I don't know what in particular this guy did to piss off Beef. And Beef starts I don't know, pushing into him. You know what I mean? And I think the offender thought it was funny at first, and then realizes
was this at the edge or
yes,
in the middle? Okay, so when he's pushing him into other people.
Yeah, it's almost crowd killing. But okay, so he's pushing this guy, and then the offender pushes back, and they start fighting, and there is this 5'3", 5'4" woman who's hanging out with the guy who pissed off Beef. And so his friends, offender's friends, pull him off of Beef, and this woman goes up to Beef, and she's in front of him, and she's like, hey, she's putting her hands on him. She's like, chill out. And he starts going after the other guy again, and she just puts her hand in his face. It's like, it's over. And he just stops. That girl is my hero.
That's great. It's like a human stop sign.
But I mean,
so effective.
The size difference between them, not even just in terms of height, was intense. I mean, he was probably 6 times the human, just in terms of pure mass that she was. But she just was like, I don't give a shit. Stop. Fucking diffuse the situation. It was so awesome. So that was my favorite. That was my most memorable part of the night. It was just so cool. I was very impressed.
From this video, I think it's weird that Isan is playing a Telecaster.
Oh yeah, you're right. I thought that was strange.
Then Samuth is playing a Les Paul. It's like, these aren't black metal guitars,
Yeah, and there weren't any gear changes that I can recall. And I don't know. I guess you'd know with your tab book, but I don't know if they what tunings they play in.
Pretty sure it's just standard. I'm not positive.
Okay.
The bassist is playing one of those ESP basses, that standard shape, but it's a little pointy.
Yeah, I
forgot what it's called.
I know what you're talking. I really wanted one for a long time.
I did not.
Now I don't think I'd want it, but there was a long time where I thought it was super cool. But yeah, the gear was pretty standard. I'm guessing it was probably just their touring.
Yeah,
the touring rigs.
They got a wall of Marshall cabs. Let's see, I'm counting 6 on one side, 6 on the other. There's no way. And then an Ampeg stack on each side.
There's no way that any of it's plugged in. I always love it.
Good light show.
Yeah, light show was good. I mean, but it wasn't compared to some of the shows I've seen recently, Sugar.
Yeah, it looks like.
No, go ahead.
It just looks like they picked a wash color, which is a wash being just the ambient light, and then there's just kind of white light moving around and strobing. So for Ye in Transamparium, I've never tried to say that out loud until right now. They just have green and then white lights, and then for I Am the Black Wizards, it was red and white light. So yeah, it just seems like that's what.
I was trying to think while I was watching it. I was watching the lights, trying to see, because I know that So I've been accused of making Eisenmore's lights too busy, because I like the Meshuggah lights, but
you don't have enough lasers.
It's true. See, that's the problem. I should get the non-eye safe lasers.
Ooh.
Point them directly into the crowd.
It wouldn't be too far off from Symphony X's lights.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was one of the few times where I was like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, I mean, fantastic show. I never saw Emperor before. If they come around again, I definitely want to see them again.
This is the last time they're ever touring. Until next time, assholes. And Isan still looks like an art teacher.
Yeah, he's the Steve Jobs of black metal.
Right.
Yeah, they came out on stage. There was a puff of air, and the smell of patchouli filled the venue.
And Agalok wasn't there?
No.
All right.
Isan walked out with one of those lavalier mics, turtleneck sweater.
This is
Joni Ive was there.
the Nightside.
They got.
Well, I wish I was there, but I can just pull out my DVD of Vuck in 2006 and watch.
There you go.
All right. Well, until next time, Metal Nation, make sure you reform your band and keep touring to the delight of everyone except for me.